So I haven't spent much time in the build apps with Gemini feature yet. I sort of overlooked it, but I was looking at ways of turning a booking form into like an online form, and doing it in N8N or Gravity Forms in WordPress just was taking a long time. So like if I take this form, so this is a full like 5-page PDF, and so if I make a prompt, there'll be something. Let's say make an online form that collects all the information necessary to complete this booking form, and then outputs as a neatly formatted good if I could spell formatted HTML page that I can print as pages to be similar in layout as the original form, and have a button for print once it's displayed. Clearly indicate all the required fields, include some tool tips, guidance on answers required. Yep, that'll do. Style to, wonder if we can make it look a bit like the same color scheme of the council that it comes from. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, sure. Let's use that color styling of the footer, maybe. Yeah, that'd be cool. Okay, use. Actually, we should do a bit of the white as well, shouldn't we? All right. This is similar to the wsc.nsw.gov.au website. See screenshot, for example. Okay. Upload a PDF, and we need that. I don't really want the link in there, do I? Attached. All right, let's try that. Okay. So it does a good thinking. I am assuming it's using Gemini 2.5 Pro. It seems quite good the way it plans it out. So if you expand out the thinking, it's like it does a reasonable amount of analysis before it starts doing any code, which is quite good really, because it means that the prompt you provide doesn't have to have like all of the answers. It's fine for it to be pretty brief, I guess, as long as you get the key points, because it'll do this thinking to decide like what does it need to know to do what you're asking for. which is really quite helpful. Something I haven't really experimented with yet is being a bit more directive with kind of programming concepts. So like, telling it not to make files too long, or, worry about database structure and stuff. But it does seem to have a pretty good default decision making for that. Like, I've seen it make smaller files instead of long files. Like it's refactored things, and it seems like its default prompting that's behind this has been pretty thoughtfully done. And I actually find, insofar as like a quick result, I think this actually works a little bit easier than even like Firebase Studio. It definitely beats trying to do this as like a one-shot thing in Gemini. This is way better than that. It builds out a whole structure, and as you'll see, it has a deploy. So this option up here, the little rocket, you can deploy it to Google Cloud Run, which I did it with a different form, and yeah, it worked fine. I just had to make a project in Firebase and connect it to billing, because I think it uses some of the paid features, and it worked fine. And it's not just getting stuck on one file of context either. Like, it happily works its way through multiple files. So like, I assume the way it's working is that this is sort of like artifact files. Like, it's really, whatever's going in the background here with the tooling is very clever, because it quite competently works its way through making like a lot of files, but beyond what I'd expected. Like, I hadn't really used this before. I think I clicked into it and saw a couple of the demos, and that was about as much as I bothered to do. And like the styling format structure, like, it seems pretty reasonably well done. There's so much I haven't tried yet. Like, I haven't tried telling it specifically to use Firebase or anything yet, or all that kind of stuff. So all right, let's have a look and see where it got up to. Okay, so all right, so this is like choosing. Okay, yeah, that's pretty cool. That's good. I hadn't really thought about how it would actually do that part of the interface. Applicant details. I can't read the text. Okay. And you can do follow-up prompts. So input fields. I can't read the text when I type. Seems to be dark text on dark background. Looks like it might have got pretty good effort at putting everything it needs to be in there. Yeah. I won't. So I have successfully given it kind of multiple tasks to do in the past, but I'll just stick with one at a time because it seems it does make like multitask steps. So I have tried other tests where I gave it, a few different things to fix, and it seemed to be okay with it. But look, I think a lot of these kind of tools and systems, you make it easier for yourself if you just do like one major change at a time, or kind of like one problem at a time. And also that gives you an option to go back to the checkpoint. The checkpoints are quite good, although it doesn't remove the text from the chat. So I'm not really sure if it drops that from its context or if that's sort of still in there. You can definitely roll it back to the checkpoints. It doesn't, but yeah, it doesn't remove what's in the chat. So whether that's, a problem or not, I don't know. Okay, let's try typing in. All right, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I think let's not do black checkboxes. That's pretty hard to read. I think let's just have white checkbox form elements with grey border similar to the other form elements. White checkbox and radio button rather than the dark background for those two. Oh, interesting. It grabbed the little picture. Do they have a logo? They must have a logo. Oh yeah, it's this white file. Is it a picture or? I'm trying to work out what it's attached to. Is that it there? Oh, it's an is that the SVG maybe? Yeah. Oh, it's got like 3 versions of the logo in one. That's weird. Oh, well, anyway. We're not actually building this for the council, so it's just an example of... I'll just refresh, because that hasn't changed the colours. Yeah. Has it done any of them? Nope. Do I care? Not really. Oh, it changes once you tick it. Yeah, that's fine. Good enough. I'm really not that worried about the styling at this point. So, okay, so let's say I'm going to pick the options I need. Yeah, all of that stuff. And actually, let's make an option to like insert some demo hiring data. So for testing, I'd like a button, like buttons, some buttons I can click that will set sample information similar to real inquiries. That should be enough. Oh, and the sending uses just pressing enter, not shift enter, which is like the default way that AI Studio works and VS Code with root code works. So I frequently find myself doing shift enter when I only need to do enter, which is, yeah, I don't know why it's like a nothing burger of an issue, but it's like an inconsistency of the user interface, I guess. Oh, cool. Okay. Yeah, so it's doing some constants for the demo data. Again, I didn't really give it any particular required way of doing this. One thing that I have noticed too is it'll still be working on a file, but you can see the preview, which I guess because it's a I'm assuming this is like a Vite containered app. I suppose so. I'm not quite sure. So it's probably a good idea to let it finish coding before interrupting and trying to do anything in the interface, I imagine. Oh, and you can add files and stuff too. Like, so create a new file, upload files. I mean, I assume this is sort of like running something like a kind of containerized mini version of Firebase Studio, or, you know, like a web container version of VS Code, a bit like the precursor to Firebase Studio. I'm not really sure. Sorry, that's a bit above my technical pay grade, but I think it's probably worth investigating things like, you know, getting it to use Material UI or Tailwind or something like that for styling as well. I haven't tested that either yet. Okay, great. So here are the testing tools. So load community meeting. Yep, it's got all the different information. Does this work? Add another contact. Yeah. Okay. I acknowledge. Guess you have to tick that. Looks like I've got to tick that. And the risk assessment. It's a very thorough form. It's like I just kind of Googled. I just Googled booking forms for Hall Hire, and this came up. It's super detailed. Okay, so all right. Now this won't work because the print function doesn't work inside of this container. Oh, okay. Wow. All right. That actually looks pretty cool. I didn't expect it to do that. Okay. All right. I guess I'll tell it to fix up the printable preview. I don't know if it makes much difference to give it screenshots and things at this stage, you know, compared to just telling it the problem, but the text on the printable preview needs to be dark black. It's not readable on white background. I do have my computer in dark mode, so I don't know if that really makes any difference, but, you know, shouldn't do, I suppose. So, I mean, if you think about how long it would take, not even to code this, but to make this form by hand in a form builder, you know, whether it's Gravity Forms or you know, like any drag and drop form builder, right? Like they all, some of them are, I guess, adding AI functionality. Okay, is it doing it? I probably need to refresh. Okay, let's. I've got to do all the essential compulsory things. I should tell it to make sure it ticks the compulsory things as part of the demo. Alright, I think that's enough. Nope, what have I missed? I don't know. Gee, look at all that. That's cool. Schedule, everything. It's so detailed. What have I missed ticking? I'll have to make it do a better job at telling me what I've missed. Oh, looks okay. I'm sure it'll be blindingly obvious. No. Oh, tick this box, you want to proceed. Okay, great. Okay. No, it still hasn't done it. I wonder if that's... Did it do it? I don't actually know that it made that change. Okay. Can you check that change was made? I had this happen with one of my other tests where it kind of it thought that it had made the change, but it didn't. So like almost like a hallucination, I suppose. Yeah, so it's doing it now. So, and I think what's happening is the like decision to do the change and the thinking about the decision to do the change, it ends up believing that it's done already, or that I'm going to do the change. Not quite sure. It's definitely capable of doing the edits, but it doesn't actually do it. As you can see, it's rewriting the whole file, which is not very efficient. It really needs to be able to do like differential edits. The way like the way that Ruko would do like a diff edit, where it's modifying multiple pieces within a file. I don't know. Ruko calls it diff edits. I'm not sure what else should we call it, but it would save a lot of tokens and time to have that kind of an edit for like minor changes like that. Whereas if you have to rewrite the whole file every time, obviously, it doesn't really make a big difference to me, but it is wasteful. And if I was paying for the tokens, I would care a lot more about it. Generate printable form. I should highlight the things that are like, okay, that's good. Some of the text is there. Okay, the text in the tables hasn't been put in, but it's looking really good. Okay. Great. Okay. Much better. Except the text in the tables, table cells, still seems to be white on white. I really like its style of prompt and decision. Yeah, it seems to have quite a nice flow to the way it's building things as well. I need to experiment with some things like, getting it to refactor files, or like tell it to deliberately use smaller files. But yeah, I mean, as I say, I'm not paying for the tokens, so I don't really mind if it has to rewrite a whole file every time I ask for a change, but it would be good for it to have, like, these pages, I guess, could be separate files maybe. But then sometimes an AI dev can end up with errors if you break things up too many separate pages. Okay, so it caught its own error then, I think, is what just happened. Which you can definitely get stuck. Like, I have a few other attempts where I was unable to finish the build out, but I gave it quite a lot of instruction, like too much detail, probably. This seems very targeted at the one-shot do a Trello task board type of a prompt or something like that. Okay, let's have another go here. What are the essential things I need to tick? Yep, tick that. I acknowledge. I have ticked the risk assessment. I acknowledge. And that is all the things. No. Alright. I forgot to do that this time. Oh, come on. So many confirmations. Right. And that looks pretty good. That looks good. Should we refactor any files to make changes and maintenance easier? This is such a loaded loaded thing to do, but why not? If it breaks it, I don't really mind. Like, this is just a demo thing, so I'm hoping it will just pull the form and the preview into like folders of files, maybe. Oh wow, yeah, okay. That's going to break it up heaps. Okay, it's going to do it, I think. Not in folders, but it is going to do what it said it would do. Yeah. Sample data, good. That's in a separate file now. Great. I find it fascinating to watch this kind of AI development tool run. Just seeing how it does everything. I wonder if it'll look okay on a phone. I suppose if I just do that, I should find out. Oh yeah, it's done a folder for booking forms and components. Yeah, right. So we're breaking it up now into nice separate component files. Yeah, like it's like a React application with a components folder and then a folder for the individual components. The test here will be if it removes the original file. So something I used to have a heap of trouble with in AI dev tools, whether it was Bolt or RuCode or whatever. Anytime you did this refactoring, it'd happily go off and make all these files, and then it would forget to remove or edit the original file, and so you would end up with all of the new files and the original file. And then if you would make changes after you'd done the refactoring, if you were lucky, it'd edit the new files and your change would show. But actually what happened a lot of the time was it would revert back to editing the original file, which no longer displayed, and so it thought it was making all these changes, but you wouldn't see it as the user, and it was pretty confusing. Wow, this is such a thorough job. Like it really is doing a really good job of these file creations. They're very nice and orderly. Like even the naming system that it's defined. It's all, what's that, like camel casing, I guess? That's fine. I mean, I could never code. I mean, it would take me years to learn how to do this. Years and years. Like, I'm not a developer in the proper sense of the word, right? Oh, here we go. Yeah, so it's analyzing its error. Is this where it shows the errors? Yeah. Fascinating. Oh, interesting. Okay, great. Oh, that's like the little commands that's going, like the V commands for the container. Okay. I am going to... Can you update the test data so that the required fields are ticked as well? So this time it should... I should have said sample data. Anyway, whatever. I'm guessing it's going to do something with that file. I still can't get over how clever this is at coding. It's just so nice. Okay. Yep. Okay, so it's done this whole like, here's what I think we should do. Yeah. I guess it's asking for confirmation though. Yeah, okay. Yes. Proceed. I suppose if because I've framed, maybe I didn't frame my request in an actionable way. It's I guess I've sort of posed it almost like a question. Yeah, I don't think that's been done. Yeah, I don't think the changes were made. Please check. Yeah, so it did that. I think it's done that hallucination thing where it's like thinks it's made the changes. I have no idea how much context this is using up either. Like it doesn't show anywhere how quickly you're approaching like 1 million tokens or something, but okay, are you going to do it? Yay. Okay, it's doing it now. It does seem happily like willing to go and make the change when you remind it, which is good. Like it doesn't insist that it's made the changes. Like it is able to reflect on the file and go, oh yes, it's not been done, so let's get that sorted. Okay, great. Let's see if this works now. Okay, community meeting, are those fields ticked? Yes, that looks good. All right. That's not essential. That's ticked. Yeah, that all looks good. Okay, great. Printable form. Oh, how nice is that? That looks so good. I don't know. I don't think the print will work in this container, but that's okay. I tested a different one and I could do a browser print and it's fine. I think it's because it's in a container, so it can't access the parent browser to do printing or something like that. I'm not quite sure. Just one last check to compare the original PDF and make sure that our printable form includes all the necessary information such as boilerplate, text, etc. Basically, are we done? And all the inputs and outputs are correct. I find this much more relaxing to work with than like even the IDEs like Firebase or Bolt. I don't know. It just maybe because it's like a more constrained environment, right? Like it doesn't let you choose. I don't know, maybe you can choose what you're doing. I assumed it just does React, but maybe you can prompt it to do other coding. I'm not sure, but it seems so competent. Okay, we're happy with that. Okay, it's found a few things that are missing, so let's see if it'll go and do that. Okay, yep, so please go ahead and fix the identified issues. There needs, I think the prompt needs something to catch these times where it thinks that it's done a change but it hasn't. Like, you can easily tell it to do it, but I guess if you're not paying attention you might miss that it hasn't made the change. So you've got to kind of monitor it. But also, if you were doing this using a tool call, so let's say I didn't want to do this as a human, but I wanted to use an interact browser or something, I wouldn't really want to have to hold its hand to get everything correct. It looks pretty good. I'm not actually going to go through and check this line by line. I just don't have time to do that for like a demo product, but it looks really good. And as I say, I did use the deploy feature on another one. So and you can do like, so let's password protect this so that only approved users have access. And it seems quite happy with me just giving not very technical requests. Like none of the prompting I've been doing is really strongly worded project management information. In fact, I tried a really long prompt with about 30 requests and it just couldn't cope. Like it just sort of skipped over the tasks and sort of did a few things and left the rest of it out. Cool. Okay, there's our password. Okay, there's the password. Okay, look, it needs to make the form better color. But yeah, how cool is that? I'm just blown away by how nice this is. I have no idea where it's getting this picture from. Looks like it's probably generated. But yeah, it's just really, really cool. I love it. It's fantastic. And I think you can do other integrations with AI and all sorts of things. So very cool. I just thought I'd do a little demo there because I just think it's fascinating how well this works to make these, I don't know, what are these, like micro apps or nano apps or just like mini little web apps for single purposes. Because I think you can really see, to me, what this is, so let's say I'm random person in a month's time and Google have made this into a kind of product, right? So it's the Google app product and it automatically makes Firebase projects and handles all that part. And you just come to it and you throw your PDF or your requirements into the chat box and maybe with a couple of other prompts just to kind of, nudge it through what it does, and maybe it gets a bit smarter about refactoring and other kind of more like careful programming. I don't know, give it deliberate access to a Firestore database, and you can I can really see like fairly non-technical users being able to make very useful interactive web apps in a way like that. As honestly, like this is so much easier than like working with Bolt or even RuCode and stuff, right? Because it's like this constrained environment, so it knows what it's working with. Yeah, cool stuff. Love it. Yeah, if you've made things with, you can share the app to people. Like, I don't know, if someone has made some other cool stuff with this and you want to share it in the comments, like, feel free. I'm curious to see what people have done other than the demo things that are in the library. So yeah, thanks for watching.